are back with a wonderful couple here in Houston, Texas. Tom and his wife, Jackie. And how long did it take you to propose to her?
Yeah, very romantic. Very romantic.
I want to hear it.
Jackie and I met in 1991 through a dating service.
Right.
And we were together for, I guess, 8 or 10 months, something in that area, maybe in that area right there. And my mother had come in from a visit, so we took my mother back to the airport. And as we were driving back down Interstate 45, the main thoroughfare, main interstate through Houston, back to our home, and I said to Jackie, who had been we'd talked around the subject for some time, I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, if we were to get married, what month would you like to be married in? And she said, well, I guess maybe July. And I thought about that for a little bit, and I said, well, I guess that kind of makes sense. And I said, are you okay if we get married in the church? And she said, yeah, I think that would be okay. And so we drove a little farther down the road, and I finally looked over and I said, well, I guess you're engaged. And she said, I guess I am. And that was the proposal.
Well, how did you feel about that?
Oh, it was fine. It had progressed that way, and the fact is that his mother wouldn't stay with us because we weren't married.
Oh. Now, can I ask you which church it was?
Yeah, it's a Catholic church.
Well, I am Catholic too, so
yeah, I knew you were. I could tell. I could tell. I could tell. I could tell.
But you don't know that my family was Jewish first.
What you don't know is my father was Jewish.
Is that wild or what?
Yeah, but he converted.
Right.
Through my mother, and my mother is the reason for all of us, I swear.
Right.
My mother and the auspices of St. Jude.
Oh, geez.
So he's my guy, and so my father converted shortly after they were married, and was a wonderful Catholic until his death, and so I wanted to be in the church. That was the big thing, and Jackie, who's not Catholic, was very, very loving to me and said, since it means a great deal to you and it's that important, it'll be fine. So she occasionally attends Mass with me, but we were married in the church.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. You know, it's funny because I had been married before Jackie, and I got an annulment because the person that I was married didn't really, there was a lot that went on. But my husband originally, before I married him many years before that, was studying to be a priest.
Wow.
And both my uncles were Jesuit priests.
Oh, gosh.
But what's the funny part that you don't know was that I met him in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
And his mother went to school with my uncle in Bellevue, Kentucky when they were in grade school at St. Anthony's.
How strange, yeah.
And I believe that God does these really weird things sometimes. And we were introduced by a used car dealer. And when he
what does that say?
Yeah, I don't know. He was a rep for GE and I was a rep for Beneficial. And I had 2 boys. And the first thing he wanted to do was meet my children. So that kind of told me something about him.
Solid, yeah.
And then we had a daughter. And now we have 14 grandchildren and 2 boys and a beautiful woman. That's my daughter, who gave me 4 years ago a beautiful little granddaughter. She couldn't have any children until then, and she's an apple of my eye and my husband's eye. And so I really understand that. And you know, it's funny, I have to tell you this story actually, that I went to Israel through the Ministry of Tourism, who I work with, and I wanted to find out about my grandfather, great-grandfather, who was a dry goodsman, who married a Catholic, an Irish Catholic, Northern Ireland Irish Catholic, and
In the U.S.?
She married him, right? They got and converted him to Catholicism, and back then,
oh no, yeah,
it was buried in effigy, really. And we did the history of it. It turned out that my great-grandparents' family, or my great-grandfather's family, was buried 2 blocks away from my grandparents' house.
Isn't that wonderful?
Is that weird or what?
Yeah, it is.
But when I went to Israel, they just kind of put their arms around me and really, you know, it was such a beautiful experience going, you know, kind of back in time.
Right.
And being there and visiting, I felt so safe. And knowing where Christ walked, and it was just unbelievable. I can't even tell you how excited I was about it.
Now, obviously, I think it's the goal of so many people, I included it, to go, but I've done the research on my family because all of the Speirs, which were all Jewish from Germany, immigrated to the States long before the Second World War.
Right.
So they were not caught up in the Holocaust.
Right.
But the spelling of my last name is unusual. It's not a common spelling. So I have looked on a Holocaust site and have seen the Speir name of victims of the Holocaust that were spelled like our name was. But but that happened, as I said, long after they'd all left Germany.
Right.
But my mother and father, my mother was Irish Catholic, second generation, and I remember my mother telling me as a little boy how the serious conversation that my folks had about getting married they were married in 1946, and in 1946 a serious conversation about being married in what they called a mixed marriage, which I wouldn't think of as a mixed marriage today.
Right.
It's
not anything.
Of a Jew and a Catholic,
Right.
exactly.
One of the things that I wanted to say, Tom, is that my great-grandfather's family was from Germany and Austria.
Okay.
And the spelling of the name is Linz. And there's a Linz, Austria. And I've been to Linz, Austria, and I've been to Linz, Germany. And it was really weird because the family in Cincinnati, there's a lot of Linzes, and they're part of the pickle family.
Pickle
They had a
family.
pickle thing. And they were on the challenge at one of the reality shows, you know, where families go on there, right? And actually I interviewed them, and what they didn't know is that they were related to me. But a lot of the people that were part of the Linz family didn't want to admit they were Jewish originally. So I thought that was a little strange, but it happens.
You have to ask Jackie about her background, being in
Let's hear
South
it.
Africa, but I was going to say that the one story that I find very interesting, because I love the game of golf, is
You're a golfer.
yes,
I married one too.
there's a big tournament in South Africa that's been held for years and years in Sun City,
Okay.
and that
I
the
don't
golf
know.
course, not Sun City, but where? It's the I
The
can't
golf tournament or
the big golf tournament in South Africa that's on your family's property.
Oh, Sun City.
Okay.
Yeah.
The golf course is on the land that Jackie's family owned in South Africa.
Yeah,
Wow.
my grandmother's family, not
Yeah.
not mine, but my grandmother's family. Yes,
Right.
they owned that land as whites, and then they sold it, and eventually, I guess it was bought up and became Sun City.
When did you come to the United States, Jackie?
First I went to Canada, and oh gosh, I can't even remember when that was. And then I came to the U.S. in '79.
and reason
Loved
why?
it. My former husband was in the hotel business, and with the hotels in the Galleria, and he was transferred, and so we moved to Houston, and I felt that, you land, and then that wall of heat
Right.
hits you. It's like a brick wall.
Oh, the first time I came to
Yes.
Houston, I went, this is like Singapore. Seriously.
I didn't do
Jackie
that.
thought she was home.
You thought you were home?
Yeah, oh, I loved it. I just loved it. I loved the heat.
I love the people here. I love
Yes.
Texans. They're
Yes.
so cool, these Texans.
Oh, there's nothing like Houston.
Texans are wonderful.
Houston is an unknown gem. It is the fourth largest city in the United States.
I love it.
And people come to Houston and they say they were expecting flat prairie land, and then they realize that they're in a land that looks very much like Vancouver. It's lush and green.
It's gorgeous.
Minus the mountains.
Yes, it's a great city.
You know, it's funny because I have to come here all the time. I have clients here. And I've done cooking shows here. I've done all kinds of different things here, and I love the people. And I love this condominium. I'll tell you, if I could spend the rest of my life here, I'd be here, right? If I could just get that other guy that you haven't met yet to move here, you know.
Where do you live now?
Actually, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where I'm originally from. And we went back there kicking and screaming. I went back there in 2001. I'd lived in England, Spain, Turkey, and Singapore because he was with a company that was in the aviation business. And so we traveled with the military. And now he's with another company that's an engineering company. And one of his clients is here. So I bring my TV shows and everything to Houston. And we love it. We love coming here. And I love your weather now. This is really great time of year.
Oh, it is.
So,
it is.
right?
It's a pretty time of the year for Houston. It really is.
Right. So do you get snow?
We get
everyone.
slush.
Yeah.
You get
We
slush.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
comes, once every 6 or 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's before the slush, there's some like white crystals.
Yeah.
Really?
But
And
it's
all-
not snow-like. It's
Right,
like
it's nothing like
And all the
we-
children run
No.
out and make snow ice cream.
That's great.
Now,
And
children down here don't know snow, so they think it's the most,
gorgeous thing in the world.
they love it, yeah.
yeah.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back with Born
Okay.
B464 after these messages.